Hey, good morning. This is Attorney Amy Rebecca, Wills on Wednesday. Yes, I know it's Thursday. We're going Wills on Wednesday on Thursday, and we are talking about how to choose one child over another. I'm a mom. I have two children, and one day I'm going to choose one child over another. And maybe as a mom, that might not sound something I should say. Maybe society, community, everything around me says I should not say I choose one child over another. But let me tell you why one day as a mom, you should choose one child over another. That's what we're talking about on Wills on Wednesday today. I work with a lot of women in estate planning. In fact, my entire practice, my entire law firm is dedicated to helping women protect who they love the most. And many times I'm sitting across the table from a woman who also happens to be a mother. And we are working through their estate plan. And maybe they've done estate planning in the past, and they did estate planning when their children were younger. So in this particular Wills on Wednesday, I'm really talking to that mother of adult children who are either for the first time ever or revisiting an old estate plan. So they're either getting an estate plan for the very first time and have adult children, or they're revisiting an estate plan that's 10, 15, 20, 30 years old, and now their children are adults. So these women are sitting across the table from me, and they are thinking of naming their children in their estate plan to take important roles in the estate plan. And what do I mean by that? Important roles means they are either going to be choosing a child, or they're going to be choosing an agent under a financial power of attorney, sometimes referred to as a durable power of attorney. They are going to be choosing a representative under a healthcare power of attorney, sometimes referred to as advance directive on healthcare, or they are going to be choosing an executor, which is the person who carries out their wishes in last will and testament. So those are three really important roles that I talk to a lot of women about, who are in that space where now they have adult children, and they are looking at those adult children and saying, okay, it's time to put these individuals, these people in place in my estate plan in one of those three roles. So my very logical next question to that woman sitting across the table from me is, okay, which child do we name first? And many times that response is a look on their face like, I have to choose one child over another. You're asking me to choose one child over another. And yes, I'm asking that woman, that mom of adult children, to choose one child over another. And sometimes I get a question back. Can I choose all of them? Yes, but not at one time. I consistently and frequently, and whatever the word you want to use, advise moms of adult children who are either updating or getting an estate plan for the first time to not put multiple children in the first slot. So don't ask children to have to work together in one role in your estate plan. And many times this becomes an entire conversation that we walk through of who should you choose. So I'm going to talk about three things about why you should choose one child over another. And I'm going to give you, and some of these things are reasons, and some of these things are perhaps something that society or community tells you you shouldn't think about your children. But in reality, deep inside, you think about these things when it comes to your children. So the first thing we're going to talk about is there's a good chance that one of those children, let's just say you have 3 children, lives closer to you and is really involved in your life nothing to do with how much the other two children love you or care about you, but perhaps they just don't live as near as you, or their particular lifestyle, the job that they have or the family that they have, just doesn't lend itself to have as much interaction with the things in your life. And what am I talking about here? Well, powers of attorney really focus on two areas of your life. The first one is your financial areas, anything to do with money. So insurances, banking, retirement, perhaps government agencies that are involved in your life. So anything to do with finances. And the second area is anything to do with healthcare decisions. So you have financial over here and health over here. And there's a really good chance that one of your children, let's just go back to that example. We have a mom and they have 3 children. One of those 3 children is more involved in the healthcare and the financial and the healthcare areas of your life. Perhaps they bank at the same bank. Perhaps they know where you bank. Perhaps they helped you meet someone to choose your Medicare plan. And then on this side in healthcare, perhaps they've gone to the doctor with you. Perhaps they've taken you to a medical procedure before. They know these areas of your life. So if I'm sitting down across the table from a woman who's making a decision in their estate planning on who to choose for the first person to help them in finances and the first person to help them in healthcare decisions, I'm going to ask them, is there one of those 3 children that you have that is more familiar with your life, who has already been asked by you to be involved in those areas of your life? And if she says yes, I say choose that child over the other 2 children. And there's more to it. There might be more going into that decision, but that's a really good indication that you should choose one child over another and not put all 3 or 2 in that first role as a power of attorney or agent. So the next thing that I want to talk about, remember we said 3. So the first one is one of those children is likely different than the other, sort of like the Sesame Street thing that we used to watch when we were younger. One of these things is not like the other. Well, one of those kids is not like the other. They're probably already significantly helping you, or even just a little bit helping you in those areas. So the second thing I'm going to talk about is financial institutions and healthcare institutions. They do not like it when they see more than one person that is allowed to make a decision, and they might balk. In fact, many times I have heard where banks are really unhappy with a financial power of attorney, where they see 2 people at the same level, basically concurrently serving together as financial power of attorney. It just makes them really unhappy because they're a highly regulated industry. They've got to, deal with audits and all of these things. And they don't want to make a mistake when it comes to you and your family using that power of attorney at their bank. So there have been situations where banks have rejected or not allowed someone to set up an account, or not allowed a particular family to really use that power of attorney the way it should be used at that financial institution. So I talk to moms, these women sitting across the table at me, and we have a conversation about the idea that, albeit slim, potentially slim, there is a chance that someone could reject the power of attorney because there are 2 people in those roles. And the third thing I want to talk about is this. Deep inside, as moms, we know our children are different. They have different skills. They have different spirits. They have different personalities. They are different. We love them equally. We love them with a passion, but children are different. I am different from my 2 sisters. Each of my children, my daughter and my son, they're very different spirits. They're both teenagers, and so I can't choose either of them, but one day I will look at my children and I will choose one over the other. Not because I don't love them both with like everything in me, but because one day one of them could live nearer to me. One of them could know more about where I bank and where all my finances are, and the healthcare decisions. One day one of them could be in a job where they just don't have time right then to help me if I need help. So one day, because my children are different, I will choose one child over another. And that's what I ask women to do. Just take an honest look at your children and who has the personality, who has the know-how in and around finances and in and around healthcare, who has the personality, and who realistically has a lifestyle to help you and choose that child over the other. This is Attorney Amy Rafeka. I thank you for joining me on Wills on Wednesday. I know it's Thursday, but I went live on my Wills on Wednesday on Thursday, and we talked about really the 3 reasons why you should choose one child over another when you're working through your estate plan. If you are a woman and you have adult children and you're thinking about putting an estate plan in place, or you want to revisit an old estate plan because now your children are older and that estate plan just doesn't make sense for you anymore, and you are in the Atlanta area or North Metro Atlanta area as well, then reach out to us here on Atlanta Wills and Trust Law Group, and we can help you, especially help you choose one child over another. Thank you for joining us. This is Attorney Amy Rafeka.